Hey everyone, this is Ken Furukawa from kenfurukawa.com, and I provide helpful tips and information to help you build your online business. Now, today is a very, very special day because I'm launching a series of interviews called the MMO Insiders, where I'm going to talk to some of the industry's top internet marketers in the make money online niche. And we're going to talk shop a little bit, but we're also going to talk about what it takes to be successful online because I think that this is the way that you can learn from their mistakes and become a better marketer yourself. So today I have a very special guest. This is my first interview, and he is the creator of Taking Action Online and just recently released the Simple Traffic Blueprint. And you probably have seen my review on that product. His name is Philip Borrowman, and he also happens to be my coach. So it is both an honor and a privilege to have Philip joining me today.
Hi, Ken. How you doing?
Welcome, Philip.
Hiya. Very nice to be here.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Did you have a great holiday?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Lots of
Awesome.
good food, nice wine. It was great. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, I love it. I love it. Well, I want to thank you for being here today. And obviously, we're going to talk a little bit about taking action online and the simple traffic blueprint. But we have this discussion often about just other factors, external factors being more important than sometimes the product itself.
Yeah.
And so before we jump into all of that, I mean, for those people who aren't familiar with you, maybe you could kind of share your story so they can learn a little bit more about you.
Yeah. Well, I started my journey just like everyone else. I started Googling, how to make money online and just fell down the rabbit hole of spinning in circles of buying stuff left, right, and center and just wandering around aimlessly because I first joined or started back in 2012-ish because I kept seeing those YouTube adverts and all the adverts on Facebook for these people who make millions by doing nothing, and you kind of brush it aside and you think, whatever. But then one day I just took a closer look, and once you're hooked, and you start delving deeper and deeper. And it was just a case of, after spending thousands of dollars on so-called training modules, you just kind of slowly claw your way through. And eventually I came out the other end, but I was just very lucky because most people don't get that far. but no, my path is basically like everyone else online. I started the same way, just got a little intrigue and then went online, started Googling stuff, and you just kind of find your way through. And I got there in the end.
Yeah, it's kind of similar, right? We all we all hear it and we all see it, and we kind of, I guess, get sucked into it, right? The whole it's sex. It sounds sexy. It sounds glamorous. You see the whole laptop lifestyle dream that we're all so, and I got sucked into that as well. But at what point did you realize that this is what you wanted to do full time?
Well, I've always been a business-minded person. So for me, I was already involved because I used to sell stuff on eBay. And I was more in sort of e-commerce style stuff before, but all based on sort of trading, eBay style kind of stuff. So for me to move online was just a natural progress. So I used to have my own cafe, my own my little tea room, bakery kind of thing. So I've always been a business-minded person anyway. So the online world is just, it wasn't a case of, do I want to do this full time? It was a case of, this is my full-time job. Being like an entrepreneurial kind of guy has always been like that. So for me, it wasn't a case of, do I want to do this? It's a case of, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
But the online thing, obviously, there's certain aspects that are very alluring, very tempting. The whole thing of working from home, having no boss, or that kind of thing, and that's kind of what made me drift towards it more because I wanted to have a bit more freedom. And so once I found something that I could sink my teeth into, then that was it really, and I haven't looked back since.
So you're doing a lot of research online on Google, and then you fell into that rabbit hole, which we all do. But do you remember what was the first product you bought, and did you make any money when you used it?
Yeah, the first product I bought that I remember, there must have been one or two before, but the one that really stood out that I kind of went, oh my God, this is it. I bought, it was called Google Sniper. It was by a guy called George Brown, I think his name was. I don't know where he is now or what he's doing, but he was kind of like one of the first young millionaires who was selling stuff on ClickBank.
Wow.
Because back in those days, so manipulating Google was very, very simple. So he created these micro review sites and just spammed them to hell with, there's made loads of them and did simple keyword research and got ranked. And it was a very simple product. But it was a thing of, it was cheap, cheerful, spammy. It wasn't good quality. But that was the first thing I remember buying. And even when I bought it, the sales page was so scammy looking. It was a thing of, yeah, make $10,000 an hour on autopilot. It was that kind of nonsense. I bought it, I sat through it, and I was like, yeah, okay. I tried it, but it was just, there's no pride in doing that. There's no honesty. It was always so cheap and so. And later, George Brown released one or two more products that were a complete failure, I think, or I seem to remember at a time, because they were just sort of email scrapers and just very legally murky kind of stuff. But yeah, that's the first one I remember buying. And then after that, honestly, I can't remember many of them because there's so many. I just bought most things that came out, and I fell down the same rabbit hole, same thing of shiny object syndrome that everyone does, and yeah, so that's how I got started.
Yeah, and when you bring up the whole rabbit hole and you bought a ton of products you don't remember, I actually have a bookmark folder called "Crap That I Bought That I No Longer Use," and it stays in my browser because it's a stark reminder that bright shiny objects. So anytime I'm scrolling down looking for something in my bookmarks, I always see it, and it just reminds me that, hey, stop buying that stuff. It doesn't work. Now, I think people in general, buy into that fantasy. We all do, and I'm still amazed that people still get attracted by that. It's kind of like one of the oldest tricks in the book. The money machine and the cars and the house and all that stuff, and people still fall for it. It's such a simple concept that is almost kind of cheesy. In America, we call it cheesy. But so, I kind of want people to understand, that it's not easy. And so I want them to get an idea of what is your day like, right? There's no typical day, but like, when do you start your day? What do you do during your day? When do you end your day? And how do you do it?
Well, for me, so things have changed quite a lot in the last 4 or 5 months, because I've started doing more sort of coaching, as you know, because you're one of my students. So my routine has changed quite a lot, and so my day doesn't have a set structure as such, because I do sort of mini tasks every single day, because I feed off the feedback from my students and emails and so on. So I wake up when I wake up. I don't have an alarm. Unfortunately, to the frustration of my girlfriend, I wake up very early sometimes about 4 or 5 in the morning, just because I'm excited. I wake up and I can't wait to start working, especially if I'm doing a promotion or some kind of coaching program or something that is live like this, I basically wake up, get to my computer, check my emails, and then based on what my emails is happening on my emails, I'll make a schedule for the day to sit and do X, Y, and Z, and I try and do as many as I can. And then later in the afternoon, I usually focus in on the longer term goals of a certain project I'm working on, or certain tutorials, videos, and I start ticking those off as I go. Because for me, I'm growing quite fast, so things are changing. So next month, I'm actually getting my first office to basically get a more professional framework around me, and to move forward from there. But in terms of a day-to-day routine, I kind of have one, but I kind of don't. It's just a case of what happens on the day changes what I'm doing. Because once you start doing coaching, once you start doing other things, then your routine changes because I'm reacting to what you guys are doing and to what my students are doing and so on. So things changes, but it's always fun. It's never a dull day, and things just keep moving forward. So, and the great thing about doing what we do is that you get, you reap what you sow, whatever that term is. You start doing projects, and then things start coming back to you, feedback, and you evolve and change with that. So there's never a dull moment. The more you put in, the more you get out, and you just keep working and keep moving forward. So yeah.
And I can personally attest to Philip's work ethic, because early on, Philip's in Edinburgh and I'm here in California. I think there's like an 8-hour time difference. And I remember having a conversation. I think it must have been, it probably was like almost 4 o'clock in the morning in the UK. And I wanted to message you something before I went to bed, because I wasn't sure if I remembered the next morning. So I did it. And all of a sudden I got this response back. I'm like, what are you doing? It's like, it must be like 4 o'clock in the morning right there. Go back to sleep. And I just remember you saying, I'm just so excited. I can't wait to start my day. And, I think that's the thing, right? Is that saying, right? When people say, if you love something, if you're doing something that you love, it doesn't feel like work, right? Yep. And you're just so excited to start the day. And that's awesome. And I just want people to realize that, because again, I think the market or the niche itself, the make money online niche, it's very attractive, right? Mm-hmm. You see the income claims, you see people, lying on the beach and doing all this stuff while they're earning money. And what they don't realize that it's hard work. And I think that initial impression of the make money online niche is what gets people stuck in that vicious cycle.
Yeah, definitely.
Because the first thing you see is, the hot car and the big house and traveling all over the world. And that's what you're chasing after, because you're thinking it's got to be there. If these people have this, there's got to be a secret. There's got to be something out there.
Yeah.
And it's it took me, I don't know how many years before I decided, that's got to stop. I can't be doing this anymore. It doesn't exist. I mean, and really, it's when I met you that all that stopped. All that chasing after things, and that laser focus into accomplishing that goal and working hard and just saying, hey, this is what it is. This is the reality, and now it's time to get to work if this is what you really want. And I it's like brick and mortar, right? People start businesses all the time. And, I think one of the videos I watched recently, you're talking about that, where, people, they think that just because you're going to open up a store that people are going to come and you're going to be rich, but it's a lot of hard work.
Yeah,
it's a lot of time. And it's a lot of effort.
The problem is that, what people don't tell you is that you're behind every success story. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of hard work. One of the classic ones is things like movie stars when they get ready for movie roles. Whether it's one of these Avengers movies or whatever. Those guys, they work out for like 6 months to a year before the movie even starts, and it's extremely rigid. They eat certain things. They work out every single day. It's intense, and people do believe they can get in that shape in 30 days. And it's just not the case. You can't do that. So it's the same online, where to when you see someone online who's making millions, they're making millions and they make it look easy, but they've spent 3 or 4 years getting there. That's the thing. Behind every single one of those stories, even the sort of the more scammy marketers, even those guys take 3 or 4 years before they make it. But they don't tell you that. So every single interview you see in Forbes magazine, or all these guys, especially when you see, it's a 22-year-old kid doing this, or this person here has got this e-com store or whatever, they all mention the fact that it took them 2 years to get there, but it's a one-liner way down somewhere in a paragraph in the story.
Yeah.
But the headline is 22-year-old guy gets fired from his job and is now making millions a year. And but what they hide on a corner is he spent 3 years trying and trying and trying, right? That's what they don't tell you.
Yeah, it's just clickbait, right? It's clickbait to get people over to that. It's like, so when we talk about misconceptions, obviously thinking that things are going to be easy is definitely a misconception. But over the years that you've been doing this, and you've talked to probably thousands of struggling marketers, beginner marketers, what is the biggest misconception if you had to rank them in order? I mean, I think they're all equal, but what is the one that you hear the most, or you feel is the biggest misconception about making money online?
The biggest thing is the time factor. People think it's going to happen fast. People think they're going to make money quickly, and the problem is you can, because if you go on Facebook or somewhere and start spamming, or use solo ads or something, you will make a sale quickly, but it's one sale or two or three. But to actually make consistent sales day in, day out, every few hours, consistently and recurringly, that takes time. Same way if you open up a coffee shop, you can open up a coffee shop in a random place without thinking about it anywhere. You will get some customers because they'll walk past randomly, but to get them back in the door again and again and again, that takes hard work. And so the biggest misconception is that, and the thing I keep telling people over and over and over again, is the fact that you have to be patient, focus in on one thing and forget the get rich quick stuff, because people are so obsessed with the vanity metrics of profit and fancy cars and beautiful women and hotel rooms and all this stuff, that they forget that also the practicalities of paying tax and cost and just running costs of running a business and all that stuff. They don't think about it at all. All they see is money. And so the biggest misconception is just the time factor it takes from going from zero to $100 per day. It's not 30 days, it's not 60 days, it's like 6 months to a year minimum, and that's if you work your ass off. And that's what people don't want to hear, because that's not sexy. That's not
That's not the fantasy that they've been sold.
No.
So when did you all of a sudden, was it like a light bulb and you said, this works, or what I'm doing works and it's working, and you just got excited? Do you remember that moment? I'm sure you do.
Yeah. I remember getting my first email subscriber. And it's one of those things, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, or it's like a drug in a way, because you create a video or a blog post, you post it, and then you see your Google Analytics go bing. There's one person from Mumbai on your site, and they arrive from Google, and you can see that it's organic, and you think, oh my God, someone's actually on my site. That's how it starts. And you start thinking, what if there's 10? What if there's 20? What if there's 100? And then you get that first email subscriber, and then you get that first sale. And then as soon as you realize it's all organic, and you realize that they came from somewhere in the world and they buy your stuff. And so I'm lucky in the sense that because I was already a business-minded person anyway, it meant that for me, it was very obvious from the start that if I can get one sale, I can get 10. If I can get 10, I can get 100. It's just about rinsing and repeating and getting more business and giving good service and getting repeat customers, and just basically having the same mentality as a businessman having a cafe or a bar, a restaurant, a consultancy firm, whatever. If you have the same attitude of provide value, be honest, and the usual kind of thing, then people do come back, and they'll buy from you again and again and again. And so for me, it was a case of it was just common sense to me. It's not the same for everybody, but it's a case of you just basically just work at it, and when you see the numbers starting appearing inside your Google Analytics and your stats and your sales and your email subscribers and so on, and your open rates, and you start seeing things happening, and you suddenly go, I've got the foundations of a real business here, and all I have to do is just build it and build it and build it, and you start growing. So you start from there.
Yeah. So some people, like I think for you, I think you've figured it out on your own. And some others, like me, we follow a coach like you. Did you just figure it out on your own, or did you get help along the way, or how did
Uh,
you get to the point you're at now?
yeah, no, I just kind of rolled forward on my own for a little while. I joined various programs like like Wealthy Affiliate, and just doing Google searches, and I found various people on YouTube that I followed for a little bit, and I kind of just sort of pieced it together. But it was a thing of, as soon as you start seeing results, you start seeing what you're doing right, and then you start focusing in on that, and then you rinse and repeat. And so it's this case of just finding something that works for you. And as soon as you start seeing traffic and leads, then you know that, okay, this works. I'm going to focus on that. So I never had a mentor as such. I never, I was part of certain warrior forum and that kind of thing. And I was just around, and I picked up things here and there. But I learned pretty quickly that it's very, very hard to find anyone to trust. And so I was lucky. I never got burnt for any sort of high ticket commissions or anything. So I just kind of found my way through. And like I said, I was basing everything I was doing. I was basing on my business background from the real world. And so I knew that just by doing it, I'll learn it. And because I was already thinking 6 months ahead, a year ahead. I was in it for the long haul very quickly. So I just learned by doing it, and just look back and do it again, and just move forward from there. So
Yeah, I think a lot of people start off and they think of the fast money, that it's going to come fast and I'm going to make money fast and I'm just going to keep, I think they only see that end result of just making that money. And it's very short-sighted to not think that it's a real business and that you have to treat it as such. And that means you have to plan out your year, 2 years, 3 years in advance of where you want to be and how you want to progress, because at least that gives you kind of like a roadmap, right? And I just found it really interesting. You had said, that when you start seeing results, and I think people, when they hear results, they think positive results, but negative results are also results as well. And they help you in that growth process, because like you, I was in Amazon seller for about 4.5 years. And, I made a lot of mistakes along the way, but, it really helped me to create a brand and have a store and find products. And I think that's the thing, is that people just see what they want to see, rather than kind of opening your eyes wide and seeing the big picture. That, again, it may be online, and it may seem like it's simple because that's what you're sold, but it really isn't. And it's a real business, and you have to treat it that way. I thought it was pretty cool. So I know I know the answer to this question, but I want to ask you is, what do you feel makes you different from other marketers that are out there?
Well, I think I have a more personal touch. Because I tend to go out of my way to try and help people. I can't speak for every marketer out there, because I don't know how they operate in terms of their personal level. But I try and help people more on a personal basis. Where if someone emails me, I'll usually answer with a video to actually give them the answer to their question. I don't really do many copy and paste answers or sort of canned stuff. I actually try and tailor everything to everyone's needs. I try and be as honest as I can, to the point where most of the time I will not make commissions, because I tell them, don't buy this or don't buy that or whatever, because even if it's a good product and someone wants to buy something, if it's not the right fit for them, there's no point in them buying it. So whereas I know that most marketers will simply go, yeah, buy it, it's great. Whereas I'll say, no, well, you know what, actually, it's not really, you don't need it, you don't want it. And I know I've tried it and used it, and I know that it's not suitable for you. And I do that because I spend that personal time with everyone on my list. It means that I get to know people, which means I know what their skill levels are, so I know what they should and shouldn't buy. So I think that's the main thing that separates me, because people know that I'm always honest and I always try and put their needs first. Whereas I think most marketers out there, they see everyone as an EPC or earnings per click, or they see the long-term value of that person. They don't really think about them as an individual. They just see everything as stats and figures, and they kind of forget that there's a real person behind that those stats. So yeah.
Yeah. So the interesting thing that I find is I like to help people as well, and much to my detriment, where just like you, sometimes I'll forego, some profit in order to help somebody, and I've done it many times. But why did you decide to help others? Because you could have easily just gone on your own, and you could have literally been living that laptop lifestyle somewhat.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll talk about that a little bit later, because you had mentioned to me that there's something that you wanted to try and do a little bit later on with the laptop lifestyle. But why did you decide to help people?
Well, because it's just more fun for me. I mean, that's just my path. Everyone takes their own path, and what I found was that I kind of got my kick or my buzz from the response I got from my followers. So my first kind of taste of real engagement with my followers was I started doing these little Q&As, just little things. People would email me questions, I would answer it and put it on YouTube, for example. And it was when I started getting actual responses from people saying, "Thank you, Philip, that really helped me," or somebody would email me with a question, I'd answer, they'd reply back with an actual, "Thank you so much." That's what gave me pleasure. Making money is great, but because of my sort of small business background, I kind of missed the engagement. I missed having someone to talk to and all that kind of stuff. So for me, it was just nice to feel that I was actually helping somebody, especially when somebody would email me and say they saved money, or they avoided a certain product, or they overcame a hurdle that they didn't know they had, or they've been struggling with for a while, and they email me saying, "Philip, thank you so much. You helped me get over this and that." And that's kind of where I got my enjoyment from. So, I'm not going to lie. I'd be making a lot more money now if I had not taken that route, but I'm enjoying this much more. So that's the main thing for me. So yeah.
Yeah, and it helps you to sleep at night too, right? Knowing that you help somebody. I can personally attest to that, because I've gotten, comments on videos. I've gotten emails from people, thanking me for the help, and I don't even know these people, but it feels really good to be able to help somebody. It's even better when you get the sale too. But obviously, when you help somebody, you're making a difference, and I think that, to me, I don't want people to go through, and I know you probably don't want people to go through what we went through.
Yeah.
And if we can help them, because there are a lot of people out there who are struggling to make ends meet, and they see this as a viable option to earn some side money, or to even get that income job replacement income that so many people are after. So I'm glad that I met you, and luckily I had met other marketers. Like it's kind of like a coaching tree, right? When you have these coaches that are part of your coaching staff, and they all go out into their own head coaching positions, and you kind of carry that same set of values, right? Because you learn them. And I'm lucky enough that I met you. I mean, it's just amazing, because I heard so much about you through, for those of you who don't know, I heard a lot about Philip through JK Dottle, and JK was talking about this guy. We were messaging back and forth months before, and we'll talk about Taking Action Online, but months before you launched Taking Action Online, he's like, "Oh, I got this guy. I met this guy. He's a baker, and Ken, his story is incredible." And we're going back and forth on Messenger, and I'm like, "Who is this guy? Who is this guy?" And that's when I heard about you. But I can tell you, there's one thing that probably no other marketer is doing out there. No one. I can guarantee you, without a doubt. And so, for those of you who don't know where Philip lives, he lives in Edinburgh. And he flew from his town, or his city. He flew all the way across to the United States, and he visited all of his coaching students, which is insane, because when you think about when you think about it, and you think about the cost of travel, you think about the cost of, hotels, food, all the stuff that's involved in traveling. And I traveled for a living for work. It's incredible given the fact that, the value that you get out of it. And we're talking about somebody I've never met before in person. I've only seen him online. I've only seen videos of him supposedly talking to me. And I just gotta pull this picture up because people need to see. I'm gonna bring this up. Let me share this. Just so that people can let's see here. People can see what this is about. Okay, so can you see that?
Cool.
This, everybody, this is proof. I put this little emoji, mind blown, because on November 11th, I met with Philip. He flew to San Francisco. I think I was your second or third to the last stop before you headed back home.
Second and last one, I think.
Yeah, before you decided to head back home. And I got to tell you, we met, let's say, I thought it would just be like a couple of hours or something. So I drove from my city, Sacramento, all the way down to San Francisco to meet Philip. And I think we spent roughly 6 hours or more talking to each other. We started off with breakfast, went through lunch, and then it was time to go home. But it was well worth it. And to me, it was so powerful because no other marketer has ever done this before. Yeah, sure. I've hopped on, phone calls, coaching calls, a phone call or a Skype call, but literally to have somebody pack up and fly and you spent what, almost a month in the US?
I was in America for about 22 days.
Oh my goodness. That was incredible. It was, seriously mind blowing. No one's ever done that.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to, I wanted to sort of do something to, end of the day, I am a marketer, right? So I wanted to do something to set myself apart from others. Because, everyone does coaching programs, everyone has a secret Facebook group or whatever, but I wanted to do something that would, make people stand up and look at me and think, well, okay, just like you said, he's doing something different, right? But also because I knew that if I could meet you in person, then you will look at everything we're doing differently. And I'm pretty sure you did afterwards. And everyone I met so far, I can see their commitment becomes different once they've met me. And also, certain practicalities, certain things I can't say on camera about certain aspects of what we do online. And also because, like I said, that was fun for me as well. It wasn't just for you guys; it was for me. Like it's nice to meet people who I speak to, and because some of the guys in the group I've been in contact with for almost 2 years now, and so it's nice to finally meet them in person and to just thank them for their support, and to just to grow together. So it just makes everything more fun, and it's cost me a fortune, but it's worth it because in the long run. I'm in this for the long haul, and so for me, this is just another building block of experience and leverage, and everything is a win-win-win for you, for me, for everybody. So
it's incredible because you're investing in us. You're investing in your students, not only your coaching students, but everybody that takes part in taking action online or not. They picked up Simple Traffic Blueprint. I mean, just the fact that I reviewed the product and I just said, one of the keys is people always talk about support. And I'm starting to review my fair share of products out there. And one of the things I always like to look at is support because, if you're a beginner, having support is one thing. Okay, how do I do this? How do I do that? Where do I go to find this? But the fact that you provide guidance is, that's your time. You're giving of your time. Even if you make a video to respond to somebody and it takes you, 5 minutes, you're giving of your time, to this person, which to me is huge because, again, you can easily say, hey, go to my help desk and, go to this article or whatever. And you don't even have articles, by the way. It's like you just email Philip and then Philip tells you what, where to find it and what to do. But it's I just find it to be just, I guess that's another, differentiator is the
Yeah,
guidance part. I mean, there's not too many people out there who do that, and so
yeah.
that's
So
pretty cool.
I was basing it on my own experience. There's nothing more frustrating when you just get some copy and paste answer from a support desk where they haven't fully read your question, they don't really care,
Yeah.
and so yeah. So when I get support tickets and so on, I usually make a video in response, just so they can get real help, and they also so they also can see that it is me. It's
Hmm.
not some a drone just
Hmm.
working for somebody and as a freelancer,
Hmm.
because I've got a lot of software and tools and services I use, and when you go on a chat, for example, and you get somebody who you can tell they don't care, they just don't
Hmm.
care. There's
Yeah.
nothing more frustrating because you've got a problem with X, Y, and Z, or you're trying to do this or trying to do that, and when you get an incomplete answer and you're just left hanging, um, it's very frustrating, and that's what makes people so pissed off with the whole internet marketing business, right?
Yeah.
Because that is the result of most support tickets, depending on what niche you're in.
Hmm.
And so I'm just trying to do my best to keep my customers happy, because at the end of the day, customers are what pays my bills and
Hmm.
grows my business, and
Hmm.
helps me keep developing my site and taking action online and create new products and so on. So again, it's a common sense for me.
Yeah.
Good customer service. That's just part of the package. It shouldn't be something special.
Yeah.
This is part of the deal,
Yeah.
part of the service.
Oh yeah. And what you do kind of reminds me of what's called the red ocean, blue ocean. I don't know if you've heard of that
No, no.
concept, where the red ocean is where all the sharks go to feed, right? So the water is all bloodied, and that's a competition, right? When you enter into the make money online niche, it's so competitive. Affiliate marketing, whatever it is very competitive, and it can be brutal,
Yeah,
and people do what they do to survive. Okay. And I understand that. Okay. But at the same time, creating what's called a blue ocean, going out and creating a differentiator and sticking by that differentiator, to me, you open up a brand new market in an otherwise overcrowded niche. And maybe I'm not giving that concept of red ocean, blue ocean, doing it the right way or saying it the right way, but
yeah. No,
that's
makes sense.
that's
Yeah,
pretty much
makes
the
sense.
concept. You're taking what's already there and figuring out what the need is and actually providing it
Yeah,
the opposite way. Oops, the opposite way of hit my microphone. Hit the opposite way of what everyone else is doing, which is
yeah, yeah.
awesome. Awesome. So you had mentioned, flying to visit your students. Do you have any plans to visit any other
Uh,
countries soon?
yeah, to the day after tomorrow, I'm flying to India to meet a couple of guys there, and then I'm flying to New Zealand. Sorry, to Australia, to Sydney, then to Melbourne, and to Brisbane, and then to Australia, New Zealand, and then back home again. So I'm away for about 2 weeks.
Wow.
Um, and yeah, that'll be it for for a little bit. I think I need to focus on working for a few months. But
Yeah.
then I'll take on some more coaching students later on in
Yeah.
the year,
Yeah.
and do it all again.
Yeah. So now let's kind of focus on and talk a little bit about your businesses now. Why did you start Taking Action Online, and can you tell everyone what Taking Action Online is, and
Yeah,
what
yeah.
it's good
So
for?
taking action online, it started because I realized very soon that I needed a database of training, because creating lots of individual products or lots of individual things, even though it's very profitable to sell individual products, practically for me it wasn't what I wanted. So I wanted to start collecting a database of all my kind of methods and strategies and sort of theories and the way I do things, the way how I implement my business, so that somebody can come in and then get a point by point action plan, if you will, of how to start. Because obviously, the longer I did it, the more questions I got, and all the questions are very, very similar. how do I pick a niche? How do I build a website? How do I rank an article? How do I create a video? All this stuff, the usual kind of thing. So I just started answering those questions, and hour by hour, I built up a step-by-step action plan. So taking action online is effectively just a 20-step action plan on how you can become an affiliate marketer. And then I also have a few additional modules of case studies and strategies and webinars. So grand total is over 100 hours of training inside, so that people can have one place to go for everything they need to build a business, whether it's free traffic, paid traffic, YouTube, blogging, email marketing, all that kind of stuff. So, I created Take Action Online because I realized I was creating a lot of training modules, but they're all scattered around the place, and I need to bring them all under one roof, under one brand, one name, so that I can start building a real business for myself online.
And it's such an appropriate title too, Taking Action Online. I mean, when you saw it, you probably were like, "Oh my goodness, I gotta grab this! I gotta grab this URL, this domain. It's incredible, right?"
Yeah,
and it's so fitting.
I didn't really think about it, to be honest. It took me. I chose the name in about a minute and a half. I just thought, what do my customers need? They need to take action, and that was it. Right? Because one of the biggest hurdles for people online is just doing it. Like just start. Because most people never actually start. They jump from training to training, but they never actually do anything. They never make the video. They never write a blog post. And even if they do, they only do it for like a week or 2 weeks, and then they stop. So the main sort of message behind all my training is just do it, start, focus, move forward, and learn from your mistakes.
I think it's kind of like we talk about science a lot, you and I, but it's just kind of like reprogramming your brain, rewiring your brain to do something different and think differently. Because no matter what you do, it's funny, the people that I encounter who struggle, and who like myself, I struggle too. Struggle every day, by the way, folks. It's never easy. Every day is a struggle. The struggle is real. It amazes me because the mind works in a way that fight or flight, right? I think we talked about where the brain protects you from pain. I guess that's the science behind it. And so it's always going to steer you in the path of least resistance, or the path that's not going to be painful. And I think a lot of people don't realize that that's happening when they encounter a product or a program, and it's like, okay, well, you need to write a 3,000 word blog post. And, hey, I've got a degree in journalism, but I don't feel like writing a 3,000 word blog post. But, I have to, and I'll do it. And it's just that process of reprogramming yourself. And, that leads people to jumping into, okay, well, then I'm going to do this YouTube, because it's easier. I can shoot a video, but then they don't want to shoot the video. Or it's like, I'm going to go into Facebook ads or YouTube ads, and now I don't know what to do. I don't want to spend the money. And it's like, there's always this excuse as to why you can't do something, rather than saying, what can I do? Or, I'm going to take this one step forward, this tiny step forward to make things happen. And you always tell us every day, the internet's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. It'll be here 2 weeks from now. So take your time and go through it and just get it done. And, the thing you always teach us is okay, just okay, right? Just go ahead and move forward.
Unfortunately, it's always easier to say no. That's the easy way, because if you say no, then you don't have to take on any responsibility. You don't have to, because obviously, doing what we do, whether it's writing blog posts or making a website and putting your picture on there, is you are putting your heart on your sleeve, and you're opening yourself up to criticism and ridicule, and you're exposing yourself in that way. So it's just so much easier to say no, I don't want to, because then you don't have to change, you don't have to learn anything, you don't have to move forward. And it's like you said, the fight or what do you call it? Fight or flight.
Fight or flight.
It's just easier to run away. It's easier to just say no, and that's the normal reaction.
And I think people also too just are embarrassed, or they feel they're going to let other people determine how they feel about themselves.
Yeah.
In terms of the videos, like I never used to like making videos, and now I don't mind making them. In fact, I enjoy making them.
Yeah.
Because to me, I come from the mindset of, if I can provide value to someone, if just one person can take something away from just watching that video, then that hour or 2 hours it took to put it together would have
Yeah.
been worth it,
Yeah,
regardless
definitely.
of whether or not they bought anything. I really don't care. It's more of, I provide that value, and that's the kind of people that you want to attract.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
people
100%.
will be attracted. So recently you launched the Simple Traffic Blueprint. Okay.
Mhm.
And I've gone through the entire course, and the one thing that really sticks out to me is really, I mean, the title is befitting of this strategy, because it is simple and it's designed to get you traffic, and it literally is a step-by-step blueprint. So if you guys watch any of my videos, you know that I say that, but that's the product that I'm talking about, because it's a product that is pretty much the same strategy that I use right now to build my business, except for the fact that I'm part of Philip's coaching group, and I get that extra level of help. But why did you decide to make it so simple? Why?
Basically, just to try and eliminate as many of the distractions as possible, because, well, you know yourself, when you start and do this, you have to build a website, you have to learn email marketing, you have to understand basics of certain SEO elements, you have to understand user intent, you have to understand keyword, there's so many things around you that are just going to distract you in many ways. And everything is very important to learn, but people tend to get information overload. They try and learn too many things too quickly. So the purpose of the Simple Traffic Blueprint is just to steer people down a path where they can focus on what matters, and that's creating content. Because most people never even get that far, because they try and build a website, and then for some reason they can't get the website to become secure, and they give up.
Yeah.
Because it's a hurdle, and instead of trying to fix it, they simply say no, or I can't do it because of blah blah blah, make an excuse, and they stop. And so what I found was that most people don't even get to the point of actually creating a video or writing a blog post or even doing something, because they get stuck on a simple hurdle like choosing a domain name. Something which to me is super simple and straightforward, but to someone who's new, it's a massive hurdle. So I created Simple Traffic Blueprint purely to have a simple strategy that a complete beginner can start, and just take those baby steps to actually make a video to sort of solidify what they're doing online, to actually get some kind of result, so they can get that same light bulb that I had when I got my first subscriber, or when I got my first organic traffic to my website, and I saw it and I thought, oh my God, there's somebody in India or somebody in Siberia, whatever, on my site, and they came to my site via my YouTube video or blog or my blog post or whatever, and that's when it suddenly becomes real.
Yeah.
And that little tick of getting my first email subscriber or getting my first organic hit to my site was enough to spark my sort of entrepreneurial mind to realize, oh my God, this works. This is like the real thing. And that was it. And that's what I'm trying to do with the Simple Traffic Blueprint, is that if I can just get one person to make enough videos to get just a handful of traffic to the site and make one sale, that's enough for me to know that that person will become inspired, and that person will grow into a big marketer, and all it takes is one sale. And that's enough. So
and the beauty of the Simple Traffic Blueprint is that it's simple and it's really affordable. I mean, literally, shameless plug here, and I've got a link down below if you guys want to click on it to check it out. But Philip really puts his money where his mouth is. Literally, you get a 30-day money-back guarantee on Simple Traffic Blueprint, so you can try it out. And that's risky, right? Because I see a lot of people out there that give you 30-day money-back guarantees, but you gotta like jump through hoops. You gotta provide your birth certificate. You gotta provide all kinds of stuff just to get a refund for something that's basically the cost of a pub lunch, right? And that's one thing I find amazing, because when you're confident about what you're providing, I mean, this is nothing new. What you're teaching people is not new, but the difference is it's very focused. You
Yeah.
take out all the bright shiny stuff. You only tell people what they need in order to get started, nothing more, and they can make the decision whether or not they want to, do something, buy something else to kind of upgrade and accelerate their progress. But for the most part, it's very simple. I mean, it's just unbelievably, simple, and that's the reason why I'm so high on this product, because it's such a, it works. It works,
Yeah, yeah.
people. And I don't hate to make that shameless plug. I guess I can, because this is my interview. But I mean, seriously, just check it out, because it's really worth it.
Yeah.
Now it's the start of the new year. I know you're going to be traveling in a couple of days. Are there any upcoming projects that you are willing to kind of share with people?
So currently I'm working on my next sort of mini coaching group starting in February. It's called the Advanced Traffic Blueprint. It's where I'm taking the simple traffic blueprint and showing people a more in-depth and direct way of seeing quicker results. And so that's a 30-day coaching group. And yeah, I'm sure you'll have a link for that underneath there as well. So go and check it out. Everything's we get done for you, bridge page, review page, done for you automations, and just basically an additional helping hand to get someone from zero to their first sale much quicker. That starts on the 15th of February, and then at some point in April, I'm launching my next product. It'll be on Borrowman Warrior Plus. That's called the simple SEO blueprint, where I show people how to start blogging without all the fuss, without all the complications, without all the confusion, and just following a simple step-by-step process of how to get organic traffic from Google. It's very straightforward, but as always, people get distracted by all the noise. They get distracted by all the fancy tools and plugins and all these theories and all these things that, they all have, they're all valid, but for the average Joe, it doesn't matter, because they haven't got the resources to actually do anything about it. So I'm just streamlining it down to a T where they can actually see results quicker with blogging. And blogging is still a very, very effective way of bringing in traffic and leads and sales. That's all I've got planned for the next few months.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is that with this advanced traffic blueprint, and even with the coaching, right? I mean, you can't remove enough obstacles. You remove so many obstacles. It's unbelievable. And that's the reason why, in the beginning we talk about mindset, because that is like the biggest stumbling block for everyone is the mindset, is having that mindset. And I've never taken any courses or nothing. It's just sheer stubbornness from my dad, the sheer stubbornness of not wanting to quit, and just trying everything that I can to make it work, and finally, finding the solution, right? Philip, finding Philip, and who's halfway around the world for me, and just making things happen that way, and sticking to the plan. And again, that's a part where Philip also in his courses will always talk about mindset and what it takes, because I think level setting first and saying, hey, look, this is not going to be easy, kind of sets that expectation level to get people to understand that they've got to work. They've got to work if they want it to make money. So I know we're talking almost an hour here, but I just wanted to end with some rapid fire questions, if you don't mind. Just more fun stuff, okay? So what's a crazy but true fact about you that no one knows?
God, okay. This is going to sound very stupid, but I've never read a marketing book.
Wow.
None.
Okay.
All these books that people keep telling to read, I've never read a single one.
And you don't have time.
No, because what I do works, and obviously I read certain things online. I follow certain people online, but I've never read a single marketing book. I will do at some point,
Mhm.
but right now, no, I haven't. And
Wow.
it goes to show I'm now a six-figure earner, and we don't just I learn by mistakes.
Yeah.
I just do it, make a
Yep.
mistake, look at it, and think, huh, that didn't work. Do it
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. They can't
Because
teach you that in books.
because what I found was in the beginning when I first started, and when most people start, the more I read, the more confused I got
Mhm.
because there's too many theories. Because every single
Mhm.
marketer, every single person, anyone who has any success online has their own way of doing things.
Mhm.
They're all very similar, but and I find myself getting confused. And so that's that rabbit hole, right? If you go on YouTube
Yeah.
and search for how do I make money online,
Yeah.
you just get bombarded and you end up getting confused to the point where you don't do anything.
Yeah.
So as soon as I kind of found one thing that worked, I I didn't stop learning, I didn't stop researching and stuff, but I'm very careful about how many theories I put in my head because
Mhm.
it confuses me and it distracts me as well.
Yeah.
Because somebody else always has something that seems better, quicker, faster, and easier. And so, yes, I've never read a single marketing book.
Mhm. That's great. Hey, if you can make it work, whatever works, I mean, some people like to read and other people like to watch and other people like to
Yeah,
do. And
yeah,
doing to me is the fastest way to learn, right?
yeah,
Now, if you could go back in time, if you could go back in time and talk to your younger self, so let's say maybe 18-year-old Philip,
yeah.
what advice would you give to him?
Learn patience. Stop drinking so much and learn patience and start working.
Yeah, and
Um,
and I think that's the thing, right? Is in this society that we live in, everything is instant, everything is fast, everybody wants it now, right? I
yeah,
mean, and I think patience is the one thing, and stick to itiveness is the one thing that people seem to forget. And
yeah.
so my last question to you: if you could have one superpower, any superpower in the world, what would it be?
Uh, Probably time travel, so I can go
Time
back and tell myself to be more patient and to give myself a slap and to wake the hell up. Um,
travel.
yeah, no, definitely time travel. Definitely
Yeah.
go back in time and do things better. Do it right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Well, thank you, Philip. I appreciate your time.
Oh, thank you, man.
I know you're a busy guy, and I know that you're going to be flying out pretty soon. And so I wish you safe travels
Yeah, thank you.
as you jet around the other half of the globe. Just at least it feeds into your travel fix. You love to travel, so that
Yeah,
now you're
yeah,
getting
no,
back
it's
into
great.
it.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no,
Yeah.
thank you for your time, Ken. It's been great. I love talking to you, and it's always a pleasure.
Yep.
And yeah, for anyone watching, just click links below. Make sure you jump on Ken's website and have a look at what's there. And any questions, just say hello, send us an email, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can.
All right. Well, thanks, Philip.
Cool.
So there you guys have it. There you have it. Philip Borrowman from Taking Action Online and the Simple Traffic Blueprint. I hope you guys found this video to be valuable. If you did, drop a comment below. If you got any questions, drop a comment below because we'd love to hear from you. And of course, stay tuned. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do as well. And stay tuned for more MMO insiders video interviews in the near future. All right, this is Ken Furukawa from kenfurukawa.com, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Cheers.